Hey beauties, popping on for Wisdom Wednesdays, and my theme today for you is about the impacts of repressing insights and psychic hints and dream visions that come to us that are for other people, and what that does to our body, what that does to our capacity to trust in our own intuition, and really just the slow degrading of our ability to uplift and empower our innate psychic capacity as a tool that's here to serve, and not just to serve ourselves and keeping our life on track, but also to serve the people around us. So there's a nutshell what we're going to get into. And I wanted to bring this up because it is rampant. I know so many people that especially will have, and this can be, when I'm talking about intuitive hits, it can be for people that are body workers that are having these guidances come through while they're working on clients, and because it's not professional or because they're not here to relay information and just, doing what they feel like they need to do on a somatic level, that actual information doesn't get transferred, and that the depth of this session could have actually been a lot more meaningful to many layers of the client. So that happens a lot. And that also can happen with, I know the hardest guidance to share obviously can be, edgy things where you have dreams about people passing, or things that might be a little bit more impactful to the people that you're sharing. And I understand that. I've had my fair share of having to brave the fires of sharing guidance. But why I bring this up is what I've noticed is that if I have certain messages that are weighing on me energetically, and what that means is I feel like when we have these intuitive hits, or when we have these messages that come to us, especially when they are they're not really asked for. Yeah, sometimes you will get visions, you will get guidance that you're not asking for. You're not, calling out to the universe to help you help your friend, or to that there's something that this person on the street is like, for some reason, you are the messenger of this wisdom. A lot of time it just comes, and it can be, there can be a burden to it. There can be a weight that comes with feeling that. And on the nervous system, what happens, and how I see it, is it actually becomes almost like having this heavy little bundle. Let's call it a bundle symbolically. So you've been given this little package. It's all wrapped up. It's a little mail package, and it's not yours to open. This mail package needs to be delivered to this person that has their name in bright red letters on it. And in the process of sharing these packages of wisdom with other people, the first piece is always ask. I think it's really important to have a consent-based sharing of any kind of intuitive hits or guidance. So asking, you can go to that person and say, hey, I've got this vision came to me, or this dream came to me, and maybe it's just for me, but I feel like it's for you. And would you like to hear this? And that's the first step of letting this person know, like, I've got this package. Do you want it? And so that's the first responsibility with when you receive guidance. Second responsibility is, if they say yes, how do you offer that package in the most clear, concise, transparent way? This can be the harder one, right? Because sometimes like I said earlier, the guidance can be kind of like sticky or tricky. But remembering that you are distributing, you are being a messenger of what's in, you're relaying what this package is to this person. And you actually don't need to know the significance of it. You actually don't need to understand why it's important to this person, the meaning of it, how this little information might change their lives. You don't need to understand the psychology of what might get stirred up in them. That is all your own assumptions, and you have to throw that out when you're delivering messages and when you are, offering these intuitive insights, or if you have the capacity to see, or when you're offering these visions. because that's really what I think holds back a lot of people from sharing, is all this muddying of the waters of what this person's how this is going to affect this person. Can this person handle this information? That's not your responsibility, actually. And if they are the ones that say agree to receiving it, then that is your first step, is being like, okay, I've offered this to you, and you get to digest it in a way that works for you, or not, or you get to like leave it out. But my responsibility then can be done. Of course, sometimes there might be some emotional like support, and I think that can also get in the way when people feel like, but what if something gets stirred up? Do I even have like the time to like digest or support this person if something gets stirred up? And you can also put that in before you offer it. You can say, hey, I've got this vision came to me, this message came to me for you. I actually don't have a bunch of time to process. If there's more processing needed around it, maybe we could like schedule something later. But if that's not the case, you could just be like, I just don't have space to process this with you, but I feel like it's for you. And, you know, setting the intention that the support you need to work with this guidance will come to you, and maybe you even have some suggestions for them. But finding ways of working with all those like inner critics or those inner narratives that actually halt the offering of these guidances. And like I said earlier too, sometimes it can just happen, you know, in very inopportune moments. You know, you just have to get used to, what I found in my practice is getting used to just relaying them and letting it go. Because every time I hold on to them, I still have a few pieces, you know, or guidances that I've noticed I held on to, and it actually affects me energetically. It's like having a big courier basket, and each one becomes like a little heavier. And so it's okay sometimes to be a super sloppy courier and to be like, hey, I had this guidance, and one of my rules is, if I have information that's coming to me and I don't relay it and it's still there, and I think about it like at least 3 times that it enters into my psyche, then I should really share it. Even if that's like a year later and I'm like, damn, this is still here, I'm gonna have to share it. And realizing that like as we're digesting, like we don't know the significance, we can also trust that if it still is in my back pocket, if it's still weighing on me a year later, maybe 5 years later, it might still be relevant. And so as a responsibility, as a messenger, we get to offer those and release it. And then sometimes, you know, remembering that if somebody's not open to receiving it, you can also just be like, all right, I'm going to offer this back to the earth. I thank you for that guidance. And we are closing that chapter of connection. So I just wanted to share a bit about that. And I'm super open to feedback. If you have anything that you have been holding on to, that you have been really resisting telling someone, maybe go forth. And remember, the first rules is asking for permission, getting consent. And you may be surprised at the depth of connection and openness. You know, it could be with a family member. There may be deep levels of information that you might even have access now by sharing this bridge that somebody may have been holding or hiding within themselves. So I will leave you with that. Happy sharing, happy being messengers. Listen to your dreams. And until next, aloha. And my alarm's going off.